Have you ever seen a trader who has a win rate close to 95%? Now chances are probably not, because most of the guys just tell you that they have such a high win rate without actually backing it off. Now I've done an entire backtest over the entire year of 2022, and as you can see, our curve is looking very professional. We got barely into any kind of drawdown because our win rate is just so high. You will not find anybody on YouTube who has such a high win rate. Now stick to the end of this video because I will show you exactly how I was able to pull this off, how I was able to be interviewed by prop firms explaining my entire approach and how to get profitable, and how I've gotten to all of these kind of different accomplishments within my trading career. Now see, the problem is 90% of traders lose 90% of their capital within 90 days of trading. It's not because they're stupid, but because they do the 90% of practices. I've said this a couple of times now, but if you're doing the same thing that the 90% are doing, then most likely you'll get the same results. So before I'm going to show you my entire strategy, I have to explain to you what is the 90% doing. They are going for a high risk to reward. Now it's been said that the high risk to reward is better and a low risk to reward is worse, which is not the case. A low risk to reward will most likely grant you a very high win rate. This goes basically into what I've said earlier. If you're doing what the 90% of people are doing, you will get the 90% of results, which will just go down. But if you're taking the path which basically nobody is taking, then you will get much different results and get higher up and actually have returns by the end of the year. Now look, trading is not just a probabilities game, as a lot of like to say. And even though it sounds very good that you only have to win 1 out of 3 times with a 1-4-3 risk to reward, that sounds very easy because it gives you the perception that you only have to be right 1 out of 3 times. But what does it actually mean, only being right 1 out of 3 times? However, is it really worth it in that case? Because you have lost so much, months of just not being profitable, not having a payout from a prop firm, nothing. Now with the low risk to reward, that's a different story. Now this looking the complete opposite. We are winning a lot of the times over and over again. Now, of course, eventually we will also lose with the system because no system is bulletproof and you will also eventually take a loss. It is very normal in trading. You cannot win every single time. Although we are achieving a 95% win rate, it is still impossible to win 100% of the times. But since our win rate is so high, we will guaranteed make all of that money back. So these are basically the statistics that I want to show you. If you have 95 wins, on a 100k account, 5 losses, risk 1%, you will have about 24%. Simply because the win rate is so high, the losses don't even really matter. So what I like to do basically in my strategy is look out for easy draws on liquidity. The way I'm doing that is go into the daily chart, mark out the previous day high and low. But not only that, I'm also trying to see, do we have more reasons in order for us to go higher? Now, first of all, are we going for the previous day high or the previous day low? That's the number one question I'm asking myself every single day when I'm coming into the charts. Now in this case, it's safe to say that most likely we will go for the previous day high and not for the previous day low. Simply because we have already traded onto the upside, so we might as well just go higher. Now, do we have anything else that is supporting this bias? Because previous day high and low is not going to cut it alone. Now, if you're looking very closely, you can see we have this swing high, and if we extend it all the way to the right, we have relative equal highs. Basically, that is a very big indicator for price to go higher, because now we have more liquidity residing up in here that needs to be taken out. Now, can we further see more confluences in order to take higher quality trades and further increasing our win rate? Yes, we can. As you can see, we have an FEG in here. Now, a lot of people like to trade away from the FEGs. What they like to do is trade into the FEG and then trade lower. I like to do the complete opposite. Remember when I earlier told you, if you're doing the 90% of practices, you'll get the 90% results. So we're doing the complete opposite. We're trying to trade into the FEG and not out of it. So that is another magnet that we need to go onto the upside. This is a very high quality trade, so we're just simply going to take it. So what I want you to do is simply go into the 1 hour chart and take a easy position onto the upside, because we have already done the entire analysis beforehand, so we know the price will go higher. So once again, we're not trading the traditional way of trading where we have a very high risk to reward. Because the stop loss is just so minimal, you will most likely get stopped out when you're trading something like this. What we like to do is give the trade way more room to breathe. This doesn't mean that you have to overextend your stop loss until you're getting a 0.0001 risk to reward. No, but you have to give the trade room to breathe. The market is very volatile, and you will most likely not be able to predict the market timing wise and also price wise. Most likely you will only be able to predict one of the following, either the timing of the market or the price of the market. Now I like to focus on the price of the market because that's the most important thing after all to make money. Now but the problem is that most of you guys will overextend the stop loss, which will greatly decrease your overall return over the year. So you don't want to overextend it. You want to look out for easy wicks such as this one, where most likely the price will not go lower before it goes higher. And you also don't want to overextend your take profit to unimaginable profit targets. You want to go for small steady growth over time and for easy draws on liquidity, because that's the only way that I can ensure you that you will most likely have a very high win rate, and your win rate doesn't even have to be 95% such as mine. If it's already just a 90% win rate, this will already significantly give you very high returns. But becoming a profitable trader does not just come from watching a single video on YouTube. You have to backtest and also journal the entire strategy yourself. If you're not doing that, then most likely you will not get the same results, because after all, as a trader, the only thing that you're doing most of the time is analyzing the charts and documenting your trades. The trading part itself is actually very minimal compared to everything else you're doing as a trader. You're an analyst and not a professional chart looking expert that is basically spending the entire day just looking at candlesticks. You have to analyze your trades. Now look, the chart has a lot of patterns, and if you can't recognize all of the patterns that are happening on a daily basis, then you can't really be profitable, because those patterns repeat over and over again every single day. So you need a lot of chart hours in order to recognize the patterns every single time. So I've already given you a strategy and also how to become a profitable trader, but unfortunately I cannot cover every single detail in one video, which is why I created a Discord. It's free to join, it's in the link in the description. Now guys, my Discord is free to join and you can ask me a question at any given moment and I will answer. However, I have also created a mentorship intensifying exactly what you need to have in order to become a profitable trader as fast as possible. And if you're not funded within 12 weeks of being in my program, I will personally sit down with you one-on-one and showing you how to become profitable. Thank you guys for watching. If you have made it this far into the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and see you guys next one.